Take what resonates and leave the rest behind. Here we go. Woo! I'm going to do some general messages today. Personal readings, Whitney Moonshine at gmail.com. Check it out. Check it out. Send me a message. Here we go. It's written in the stars. First card down. Woo. Serendipity. 12th house of endings terminated. All right. Enemy behind your private line. Okay, so kind of a very awkward message. Seems like somebody has some family drama going on, and it's not. I just heard from Spirit, don't we all? Okay, everybody's got fucking family drama, I swear to God. But this is kind of bad. Okay, so maybe you had some type of weird disconnection from your family in some way in the past. And Spirit's saying the reason why that happened was because you needed to get away from these people. These people were working against you in some way. Okay, and they needed to let you know. Obviously, how else do they tell you that someone's fucking with you other than just telling you someone's fucking with you? Okay, so with like home and family, I'm like, this is in your roots. Like this is a close connection. Okay, this is a close connection, a bond. Like this is blood. All right, this is DNA shit. Okay. They I feel like they have been terminated. As in, if this was your family, like, you know, literally your parents or something, they don't, it's not their job anymore. And that's fucked. Because, like, how would that even be possible? War of the Worlds, Jesus. Challenging you toe to toe. I do believe these people are where you got your aggression from, that's for sure. There might be a little bit of like aggressive tendencies that go through you in like the heat of moments and stuff, and that's from these people. That's from like your fucking bloodlines. That's these people. So that's why Spirit wants you to stay away from it, because they would have been the ones that taught you how to fuck around, you know, how to I don't know, fuck around, basically. Like, I mean, you get told everything by your family. Like, your family teaches you how to do everything. Okay, whether you're mimicking them or mocking them or following them, you know, like you need to learn, children need to learn some way, right? So definitely that whole like naming isn't blaming in every circumstance. Like I know sometimes I have to say that, like, don't blame it on somebody else. Like what you did is what you did, but yes and no. Like what you did is what you did, yes, but if that's how you were raised and that's what you were taught, then you were only taught to respond how you've been taught to respond, you know, like they didn't really give you any other option on that. So you had to learn how to do it a different way. Sagittarian energy, balance yourself. Because this was some type of chain reaction in somebody's family. Everybody acts the same way. Heavy blockages, yeah. Everybody acts the same way. So in order to not act like them, you need to get away from them. This is heavy trauma. Someone's got heavy trauma with their family. You know, like the men act all the same and then the women all go and huddle together. You know, it just kind of seems very, very 1800s, you know, very the men are in charge and the women can shut their fucking mouths and like, what? This is 2025, bitch. Tell a woman that, you know, on the subway, you're gonna get clapped. Okay, there's the brainstorm cloud and then Pandora. It's almost like once you decided to even open up this door just a little bit, I think a lot more came in the door than what you expected. Right? And like, that's hard because families, they hide under so many illusions and like generational illusions, right? That collective is usually the ones that shut that shit down, right? Like just because this shit's been swept under the rug for 20 fucking years, 40 years, 100 years doesn't mean this is how we're doing this shit anymore. We ain't doing this, because by continuing the traditions of the family, somebody was stunting their personal growth. It was keeping them back from reaching, you know, such a higher level. Because everyone's just a chain reaction. It's just everybody reacting off of each other's reactions. That's not, no one, it doesn't seem like anybody's is going by what they actually think. They're just going off of what everybody else thinks. Like, well, okay, easy there, sheep. Okay, easy does it, sheep. There's the tower. And tower in reverse, you know, just because somebody thinks that they ain't going to fall off the top of the fucking pedestal doesn't mean they're not going to. Okay? There's justice in reverse. They have done something bad to you. They have taken some type of fairness away from you. There's caution in reverse, conjuring. It's like whoever you were living with, whoever your family is, their houses are cursed. Okay, and the people in the houses are cursed, and there's dark energy around them, and there's children scared at night, and you wouldn't want to walk around that house in the middle of the night. I'm going to tell you that right now. Okay, and that's the house that's getting taken down. There's a house that's being taken down. I feel like this is a bad house. Like, bad shit happened in this house. Like, generation after generation after, you know, like there's just bad shit in this house, and ain't nobody got to be in this fucking house ever again. And it's gonna come down. It's gonna come down. Health and safety in reverse. You know, I once talked to this lady about what had happened in my family, and she says, you know what, she goes good for you for saying something. She goes, because in my family, she goes, we all waited until the son of a bitch was already dead. And I was like, what do you mean? And she goes, oh, like, I don't know, there was like 5 or 6 of them that all fucking stood up after this fucking old dirty motherfucker died. And he had abused like every fucking cousin in the family. It was absolutely ridiculous. And nobody said anything until he was fucking dead. 90 some odd year old fucking man. Of course they live right until the end. You know, like living in their torturesome bodies. Okay. When shit hits the fan in reverse, and then prophecy. Very possible outcome. So we're getting some type of look through the glass here, you know, and seeing isn't believing. Believing is seeing. And that's the thing, is it's really hard to go back into your childhood and realize how many times that like you were not safe and how many things actually really did happen to you, right? Because as a kid, you don't really think about it as much. You just want to get the fuck through it. You never want to think about it again. It's like, shut the fuck up and just go away. I never want to go through this again, right? But once you go back into it, sometimes you realize that whatever was happening in your childhood has been controlling you your entire life. And no one's saying anything because, you know, these fucking people are still alive. But I don't think they're going to be alive for much longer. I don't know. I haven't gotten a death card yet, but I did get the Twister card. Gossiping about you and the running scared. This person's talking shit about you. Whoever your, like, attacker is, they're talking shit about you. They ran you away. I almost feel like Spirit ran you away. They couldn't watch you live this life with these people anymore that just kept talking shit about you all the time. As soon as you'd leave the room, they just talk shit all the time. Twist of events in reverse, like something's coming back around, like the Twister's undoing everything that it took, it's now giving back. Okay, so everything that was taken from you is now going to be returned in a sense where it's almost like I'm looking at justice, I'm looking at the scales. They were unfair to you, they were unjust to you. And then they try to chase you around. Like if you said anything, you were going to be the problem. Like, no wonder you're aggressive. Like, what did they expect? But people just expect people to bend over, you know, and never fucking say a word about it. Keep your mouth shut like everybody else did, you know. And now I'm getting, oh man, my sister and I were staying at this. We were driving through the States and there was this there were so many, you know, what was so weird about the States, I noticed, especially in like New Mexico, holy, like schools for the deaf. Like, why are there so many deaf people? Like it just seemed like it was odd. I found it odd. And I don't know if it's New Mexico I was thinking of or if it was Texas. It was a desert town. And it was like deaf school. And then when we got home, read this article that had just come out. And this school, this deaf school for children, by the way, a bunch of fucking priests and priests and fucking nuns were running this shit, okay? And they were abusing the children. And because the children were deaf, they couldn't hear each other screaming. These children were screaming. They were being so abused. And these so-called teachers, priests and nuns, you know, were just whipping them and raping them and, you know, children. And finally, they obviously had, we were in the States for a reason. It was like, I want to say fucking Mardi Gras, like honestly, but it was a national holiday. So I don't know what it was, but the kids were off. And that's why they went home, because a lot of these schools, the kids like stayed there, right? I don't know. It's weird. I would never let my child fucking live anywhere, but that's just me. I don't have any children. That's probably why. But they had to go, and like something happened, and one of the kids was just like couldn't do it anymore. There were signs on the body, and like they were supposed to make up this story about what they were going to say and blah blah blah, and they just flat out was like, I got raped, they're raping me, they're shoving things inside of me and blah blah blah. This fucking whole school was like, oh, shut down. Basically all these fucking kids that had just been tormented and they couldn't hear each other's screams. And that's what's so terrifying about this world, is that there are fucking predators like that use disabilities against people, right? And then what are those people supposed to say? Like, I mean, because this goes abuse like fucking social workers, this goes abuse fucking foster parents, this goes abuse like this goes far, like, you know, like into systems, into files, into shit, you know. And like, where does it stop? Like, you know, and sometimes you don't want to think about it, like what happened in those foster homes, or like, you know, in those beds and in those situations and shit like that, right? Like, because it's maybe you didn't know that that's not what's supposed to happen, you know. And like, it's really hard as a kid to know what was right and what was wrong. It's just it's you know, in your body what was wrong, and your soul will tell you, because your body starts to really like act it out. what happened, you know, to you. And if you were told that, like, that's just what is supposed to happen to kids, and like, you don't even know that it wasn't supposed to happen, that's the fucked up thing. Okay. And then to make you go running scared as if now you're the problem is even more like such a narcissistic, like, fucking monster's point of view on what to do with kids. I totally forgot. Look at, there's clock. This time, this fucking person's time is up. It's on schedule to end, and it's going to end. Homemade with love. Ew. That's a big red flag. Like red. Look at the card. Red. Ew, 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 ew. I don't like that. And watch for the people who, you know, when you were younger, watch for those times, like if you don't really know like what happened to you, watch for the people who bought you things and took you places, because taking you places was the cover-up. Okay? Like, that's the thing. Like, they will do things so then you forget about the bad thing they just did and cover it up with like a fucking roller coaster. Now we're, you know, at the call those theme park. Okay? Like, that's what you got to be worried about. Okay? Is, what was that? Okay, so there's this documentary I watched on Arthur Lee Allen, and basically, you know, he's the San Francisco, you know, one of the main serial killers in San Francisco, and who was never caught. That's the thing. And he was a pedophile. Okay, Arthur was a pedophile and went to jail for years for hurting children, young children, at the school that he worked at. Look at that, accusations as I'm talking about Arthur. So all these kids came forward and he went to jail. Okay, and when the documentary goes into this family that Arthur got really close with back in the 60s and 70s, well, 50s, 60s, and 70s, to be honest, once their mother was left by their father, it was really hard for them to make ends meet, and their mother met Alan. And Alan, she is the person that Alan gave specific evidence to, and she hid it in her basement for him. And said that was all Mr. Allen stuff. Don't touch Mr. Allen stuff. Anyways, so the woman now, okay, she is recounting a story because she said she didn't remember anything happening with Arthur, minus when Arthur asked to take one of the daughters, youngest daughter, she was like 8 or something, to Mossport because he really liked Mossport, and he just wanted to take the daughter. Like, how creepy is that? Why do you want to take a daughter? Like, there's boys there too. And her older brother didn't like it. The mother didn't say anything, but the older brother got flagged and goes, no, I want to come with my sister. So Arthur goes, fine, whatever, I'll fucking take the both of you. He takes the both of them down to Mossport, and the both of them can recall being very sleepy, they said, and they were sleeping a lot. That's all they can remember. And then she says she can remember a point where they were driving in the car and Arthur had his hands up her little jolly jumper that she was wearing, and she goes, but that was it. And Arthur drove a fast car, so he would, like, you know, weave in and out of traffic for them and stuff like that. This is like, you know, the 60s and 70s. Like, life was so much different back then, right? So she was like, I don't think anything happened. She's like, I would know if something happened. But yeah, she's explaining that something just fucking happened, but she doesn't know that it did. But then later, Arthur said, this is what I know. Arthur admitted that he abused the children and drugged them. That's what they said. Anyway, in the documentary. Okay, but she knew. But as a child, you think, why would I be so sleepy? And then the only thing you can remember is some man with his arm on your leg or some shit like that while you're watching Cars, and Mossport is so exciting. Obviously, something else happened, but you were more entertained by something else that was going on that you didn't even really care or notice because you're a child and you don't know what that is. Okay, so the whole homemade with love thing is so fucking creepy because I think that this was a whole, like, this was like a long con. This was a lot of wine and dines and shit being done under the table and kids being abused, and it was so prolonged over time that it just became natural, and that's why somebody doesn't know that it was never supposed to happen. Okay, so you might have made accusations, or there is about to be some accusations placed around somebody that you know, and you might say, hey, by the way, that motherfucker is lurking in my dreams too. I know that they did something to me. And that's all you have to do is open up the possibility that something could have happened. And that's usually when your body will stop fighting and tell you what happened. It's so much so, like, it could come out when you're drunk, like you might be like a weekend drinker or something like that, and like you're thinking about somebody who just died or something like that, or somebody's on their deathbed, and you might get drinking and go like, finally just let yourself admit it, right? Like, say it out loud, say something happened, and see if see how your body reacts, right? Because that's the thing, to constantly deny that something could have ever happened is your body's way of denial, obviously, how we survive. But the second that you step back and go, maybe it did happen, watch the response that your body's going to give you. You might go into convulsions, you might start to break down, you might get this uneasy feeling because your body's been your subconscious has been holding something back from your body reacting to something traumatizing that happened. Okay, and that's why this tower has to come down. It's a tower in reverse because somebody doesn't want it to come down, but how long are you going to sustain it? Because those walls are cracking, and it's going to come down. It's these towers, that's the thing. These towers are not designed to stay up forever. I mean, buildings in general are not designed to stand forever, withhold the test of time forever. Something, usually weather, or time, will break them down. And that's why a lot of people come out of the emotionally abused or sexually abused closets once they're like 50 or 60, because at that point in time they feel they could die at any moment. They most likely have some type of problem, disease or heart problem or something, and now they feel like they don't have anything left to lose, so they say it. What up? Okay, so they finally let themselves admit it. Some people who have fully functioning families with everybody going will keep this shit hidden for a while. But if it starts to break you down, then who are you holding the tower back for? Are you holding it back because it's helping you live? Or are you holding it back because if you say something, it's going to shatter your family? And that's the thing is, I mean, it's either going to continue to shatter you, or you have to trust it in other people's hands. Because that's what really sucks too, is like, telling people is one thing, but then having them actually have your back and support you and believe you. Because if they don't, then you're all on your own. But you're never truly on your own because you have spirit, right? Like, what's a bunch of people on your team if they're not there fighting for you? Then they're not on your team, like, they're just standing there because they were told to stand there because they're your family, but they just want you to keep quiet and fucking shove it under the rug again. Then fuck them. They don't deserve fucking people that truly love them or a true, undefined life. They deserve their imprisonments that they're in for keeping their mouths shut. I had to put a report in today about somebody being abused, and like, it was really hard because, like, I don't want to do that, but at the same time, it's part of my job. And if it gets somebody arrested and if it gets people taken away, and that's what it does, like, that's not my fucking problem. I've always said, I look out for kids. I look out for kids. I look out for animals. I don't look out for people. I don't look out for adults. They can fucking handle themselves at this point in time. I want Give me the children that need some fucking help. Give me some animals that need some help. And that's what I'll work with. You know what I mean? What up, Danny? Yo, long time no see, homie. What's it been, like 3 days? I literally don't see you for like one live, and I'm like, where's Danny? And she left and she's never coming back. And then boom, there you are. There's been a shit ton of messages. Oh, I have no doubt in my mind, Danny. I understand that you cannot be at my beck and call all the time. I understand this. Ooh, do you want to pick from the magic box? Oh my gosh, we have a pick from the magic box? In a coon's age. Let's do it. My snake always gets up when I'm doing readings. When I'm sitting here talking, she always gets up. Just the sweetest little thing in the whole wide world. Okay, here we go. Rosemary's Baby. The Exorcist. You know why I think I say Rosemary's Baby all the time? Because her name is Reagan. And my dyslexia, Reagan, Rosemary, you know, like, change it up, people. Okay? Why do they got to make all the names sound so alike? Because then my dyslexia head just can't fucking get it. Okay. I was going to say it again. Rosemary's Baby. Reagan. Stop. Okay, here we go. Cujo. Who let the monster out of my closet? Hey. We had a reading today about some shit in somebody's closet. And it ain't pretty. All right. An illness or other life disruption can be restricting, making us feel confined by limitations it has imposed. Being in its grip can also drive out a character or behavioral changes. It's important to keep compassion for ourselves and others who might be struggling, but also it's vital to protect ourselves from harmful situations that are beyond our control. Prioritize your own needs in difficult times. Okay, so okay. I kind of feel like somebody could be about to reach out and ask for help, and Spirit is saying no. Ace of Cups. An Ace of Cups from an unexpected place. Okay, so yeah, like you might have energies that are kind of like pulling on you and wanting all of this help. And Spirit. Yeah, okay, I'm going to use the sun. There's the sun. Spirit is going to protect you. Because maybe right now, like maybe it's your mission to kind of like help replenish people and all that stuff. But at the same time, there's parts of your life, okay, where you can't, you know, you're going to have to kind of stop and get your own energy back. And then who is going to do your job when you're regaining your strength if these people come and attack you for what you just did, possibly, okay? So, Six of Swords in reverse. Don't let burnout take you down. Yeah, see, you're about to get burned out. And the universe is like, you got to be really careful about where you take action right now, because really you should be taking action for yourself, okay? Getting good sleep, eating well, okay? Maintaining some type of fucking balance in your life, okay? Until you get past this little episode. Okay, there's something happening with you right now. Maybe you're ascending. Strife, loss, financial failure. Yeah, see, there's been a stretch here, okay? And if you don't stop and, you know, like, you know, when people just keep going and going and going and going and going because they're trying to make all this energy in this like small amount of time, that's not going to work right now. There needs to be a better way to make money long term as opposed to short term. Okay, so I don't know, maybe something good is going to happen here. 9 of Cups. Luxury, earthly joy. Working hard. Take a moment to indulge yourself or pursue something you believe will truly make you happy. You deserve it. See? Okay, so we're on the pursuit of happiness, basically, right now. Trap. Because somebody's been trapped in something that they need to get out, and the only way to get out of the trap is to find your happiness. So then you stop straying and getting trapped. Oh, there's Justin. There's another sun card. So that's double sun. Okay, like not only do we barely get it on one reading alone, to get it twice, I mean, or is Justin the star? No. Okay, that's right. Cut it off. See, there is an energy around you that wants your help. And it can't have it, okay? It can't fucking have it. Stand up for yourself. 2 of Wands. You are headed somewhere and somebody wants to come with you, or they want to distract you so then you don't get to your destination, so then you don't ascend. They want to hold you back. Okay, there's fate. There's the star too, but just another deck. Okay, this is your fate. This is where you're fated to go. This is your destiny, right? This is another, you know, level to reach. This is another notch under your belt. This is something you have to do. And this person, if they hold you back, I don't even think that's an if. I don't think they're going to be able to. There's Jaws. We're going to need a bigger boat. See, there's something that you're not quite prepared for. And it's bigger than you think it is. Okay, that's why they're like, you can't have anybody else with you. Okay. Familiars. Maybe just you and a fucking dog, okay? Like, you don't want anybody else around. Like, it now is not the time to pick up a girlfriend or pick up a boyfriend or get engaged if this is the energy you're picking up on. Because the world is about to do something. And you're going to get called into action. And, you know, this might be a time where you're like, well, I'm so bored. You know, don't let boredom throw you off your mission. Right? And get somebody knocked up or fucking, you know, propose to somebody or move somebody in because you're bored and you're stuck in the relationship. You're stuck in the relationship, then there might be something that is involving your action and your action only in your life. And if that relationship sustains itself at the end of it all, awesome. If it doesn't, because you've outgrown it and you've outwalked it and now you're way ahead of it, so shall it be. You leave it in the dust. Okay, now is not the time. I'm telling you, now is not the time to get engaged. That's all I keep hearing. Now is not the time. Like, don't like, only if this resonates, there is something that is saying, like, don't just think that this is the easy way out or something, or like this is the next thing to do in a relationship. Please don't ever, go by stereotypes. Like, this is what they say, like you're supposed to do this and then you do this and then you do that. Because when we restrict ourselves to what everybody else does, we're now conforming to, from the sounds of it, what we have been so against for so long. Okay? What up, everybody? Okay? So it's like, stay true to yourself and to your mission and to where you're going next. Even if you don't know what it is right now, you need help. Okay? And you need to put that help into you and not somebody else. This is not the time to go be giving somebody else your water when you're stuck in the fucking desert. You need to be drinking that shit yourself. Okay? Literally, there's like a little teepee there in the desert. Like, you need to be, reminded that your life is on the line too. Who gives a fuck about everybody else? Now is not the time to be thinking about anybody else's future but yourself. Call yourself selfish all you want. You are supposed to be selfish in your life. Okay. Unless you have little ones, then, you ain't getting shit till they get it. But, like, you know what I mean? That's why it's like, you got to take it if it resonates. Because it might not resonate to everyone. Oh. Okay, I feel like I'm going to do one more reading. 37 minutes on the dot. Wow. I actually said to my sister the other day, I forgot I was 39, almost 40. And I go, I fucking woke up. I thought I was still 37. And I am very much not 37, but I don't know. Maybe I was in a dream and I was 37 again. I don't know. But I woke up and I was like, where did 2 years go? Like, what the fuck just happened? I don't know if that ever happens to anybody else, but I feel like I lost a couple of years of my life, and I don't really know what happened to those years, because I've been right here and sober through the entire thing, so I don't really fucking know what happened. Honestly, you know what I was thinking too the other day? Something's up with time. Like, I went to the reptile store 3 fucking weeks ago to get mice for the snakes, and I already need mice again, and I was like, how could that be? Because now I'm on week 4. I'm like, how could that be? Oh, fuck. I forgot to go to the mice store. Whoopsies. But, like, I'm like, how the fuck? I was there 3 weeks ago. Like, how is that possible that it's already been 3 weeks since I've been there? It seems like a fucking week. Like, maybe 2 weeks. Maybe. But I felt like there still should have been 1 week. And it's just gone. It's just like time is just being erased. I look back on it sometimes and I'm like, did that even happen? Like, did this shit even happen? And, like, thank gosh I've got a journal and my sister, because I know when things happen. But, like, time has been really fucking with my head lately. I don't really know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. Like, does anybody know what's going on? No. But we just wake up and that, like, people say that with their kids, like, oh, it goes by a lot faster than you think. Maybe people don't look at life until they're looking at somebody else's life. I don't know. Like I said, I don't fuck with time because time is a fickle bitch. Oh my gosh. Okay, when I take sips, I always put the liquid in my cheeks. I don't know why. Okay, my ex-boyfriend pointed it out one day. He's like, why do you always take drinks of water or whatever and put the liquid in your cheeks? And I'm like, I didn't even know I did that. But it's because I've got very sensitive teeth, so I actually do it subconsciously to cool or to warm up the liquid, right, before I swallow it. And I was watching Stir of Echoes the other day for like the 100th time, and I never noticed, but Kevin Bacon, when he's drinking, he puts it all in his cheeks, and then he swallows it, and I was like, I've never seen anybody do that before other than me and my sister. I'm like, somebody else does it. Thank you. Somebody else does it. My ex used to just look at me like I was a psycho. Like, everything had to go on my cheeks. And I'm like, I don't know. I never knew why I did it. I didn't know that it was like a subconscious thing because of my teeth. Because it really is. I mean, or it's just something I do. I don't really fucking know. There doesn't need to be a reason. But Kevin Bacon did it, so we're all good. It's all that matters. It exists, and that's all I care about. Now I don't want to take a sip of my coffee because I feel like I'm going to put it in my cheeks. And someone's going to be like, oh, that's what she means. Whew. If I spit, I swear to God, I'm not taking a sip. I'm not doing it. I will take a sip at the end when I'm not thinking about the fact that I'm about to put it in my cheeks for whatever goddamn squirrel reason why I do it. Okay, here we go. Whoops. Last reading, people. Woo! Okay, so I feel like there could be somebody around you that is about to get a divorce. They might be a little bit like emotionally fucked up about it because they didn't really realize that it was more of a lusty connection than it really was like a mature understanding connection. Okay, so maybe someone's getting a hard blow about a relationship. Okay, and now they're really listening to themselves. All right, maybe they blamed a lot of the relationship on the other person and didn't really take too much responsibility for themselves. So now once they're more honest with themselves, they realize that the problem really was the attraction level was possibly too high. Okay, there's love on the bottom of the deck. Okay, with hope. Like it was almost so lusty that somebody hoped that that was love. But it wasn't. It was lust, vanity, vain, stiff, cold, and then extremely hot, heated, very bipolar, up and down, crisscross. I love you today, get it out of my fucking life the next day, and now we're making love the third day. Okay, that kind of up and down, gasket gauge, not healthy for a relationship. But they were hoping that that passion and that tensity was love. And they got a hard fucking blow. And now they're really hoping that one day they will actually know what it is. They'll be able to feel what it is. A lot of people don't know what love is, right? And they think it's this thing that you say all the time because you want to be with somebody, and that's not love. and you don't just love something because you're fucking them. Okay, like love is so much bigger than that. It's like you climb to a mountain to protect somebody. You jump in front of a fucking train to protect the things that you love. You're willing to get burned for the things that you love. You will get hit for the things that you love. Like the things that you do for the ones that you love. There really is there anything that you wouldn't do? Put it that way. Okay, like, I mean, you go so far, you get yourself hurt just to protect and save other people, right? Maybe somebody, they didn't know that that's what it was. They really thought that it was their ability to have a sensation regarding somebody else, which sure it is. There's a connection there. Obviously, they know how to connect, but they don't know how to get farther than the sexual connection. They need to get more grounded with it and less emotional with it. But until you understand yourself, are you going to be able to understand how anybody else works or can be with you in a relationship? Okay, you've got to not be full of shit in order to have the best relationships. You can't be lying and shit, and all off the edge and fucking drunk all the time and, sloppy and messy and misunderstood and, and then not heard and right. So many things that we abuse and then put onto other people as if like, why don't you understand me? Well, even if you're speaking the language that they speak, it doesn't mean that you're saying something that they can comprehend. It's not that they don't understand you. It's that they can't possibly comprehend it. Right. So conclusions in reverse. Whereas like, I feel like somebody had to come to the harsh realization, like I said, and they didn't, that was kind of like they went kicking and screaming, right? I mean, this person could have got arrested over love, passionate fights that turned into punching each other in the face, and then that's not love. That's hate. That's demonic attachments. That's deceit. Look at me right here. Look at just staring at me as I talk about what's going on. She's fucking pissed. Like, yeah, well, you would be. Okay? You would be angry. That's the other side that this person had to ground, like they had to let that chapter go. Maybe somebody had a lot of rage in them. And that rage was, and is what carried that passion, that fire. But that's not love. And then to just douse it with a bunch of water, then you're going to put it out. And that's why it needed to be reignited again. And then poof, and then this whole relationship comes out and it's burning and it's steamy and it's hot, but then it overburns and then both people get hurt. And then the rain starts happening again and then puts it out, it's just a vicious fucking cycle that somebody might have been in and out of jail, not understanding that it's their anger that is producing this hot and cold in their relationship, and they're blaming it on the other person. Like, you can't keep blaming somebody else for where you're ending up. If you're ending up in jail, you can't blame somebody else for that shit. You're there because you're there. You got to learn something. Something needed to be taught behind those fucking bars. Okay, even if it's a quick little lesson and you get to get the fuck out of there quick, get out of jail free card, sure, but some people aren't so lucky. They push the luck, and then they end up fucking, behind bars for a while because they think that hot, passionate love affair that they had, when they punched her in the face, she was attacking them and she deserved it. No. Why the fuck were you arguing like that? Okay, so there's definitely something that somebody is, like I said, come to the hard realization of. Okay, and they really, I'm getting heart. No, that's not heart, but I want to know what love is. Whoever sings that song, I want you to show me. Okay, somebody wants to know what love is. There's movement with the moon and then cycles. So there is a huge cycle that is moving forward. Okay, and like this might be somebody that you're about to meet. You might meet somebody that's got this like huge fucking rap sheet for beating people up, and they never lay a hand on you. It's not I don't think they beat up women. That's not what I'm saying, but like they definitely have had their problems in the past with passion. okay, and that raging out of control inside of them. But they seem to have moved beyond that. Okay, and like so much hate is just derived from not letting love in, you know, or thinking that you're not good enough for love, or it's never gonna find you, you know, stuff like, oh, 37, the card 37. Remember I said 37 on the dot? Okay, number 37 is cycles. So this is like, I mean, the moon is always changing, always, right? From maiden to mother to crone, every time, every month, every cycle, it's moving, constantly changing. So remember that, you know, like just when you think maybe this person hasn't changed, maybe they have. You know, believe that people can change. Because if you've changed, okay, and if you've evolved and you understand who you are now and how hard it was to be you and control yourself, right? Then, you know, believe that other people can change too. And that other people can cycle out their demons just like you. And sometimes that demon goes kicking and screaming, and other times that demon goes starved out of somebody. Sometimes it gets killed out of people. It just depends. Obviously, this person was a little bit of like a sore loser, okay, on a lot of things. And now they're realizing that, you know, they're the ones that ruined it. And you might have done some shit, obviously. Okay, you're not free and clear, but do you think that's going to be shit they rub in your face now? No. It's going to be, I know what I did. Like, and I don't even care what you did anymore. I know what I did. And that's all that matters, is stop pointing the finger at everybody else. You point that finger at yourself, your life changes. Because now you realize you don't want to be that asshole in the mirror anymore. You want to become something better. That's what I mean. People can grow. They can change. So, best believe somebody is and has evolved. All right, what up, Jess? Good job. Well, people, that's about all I got in me. 4 readings and a live, like I am. And I did so much other shit today and worked and fucking, oh my God, made a huge, I had to talk with like these services and oh my God, like I've had to deal with so much today, like, woo, and I am still fucking on the grind, you know what I mean? So I gotta peace out because I am still on the clock. So thank you for watching. Okay, I hope it resonated, and obviously send those telepathic questions in my way so I can help y'all with your problems. That's what mediums do. All right, so send those telepathic questions in my way. I would love to answer them, and have a good one. All right, good evening, good day, good morning, and I will see y'all on the flip side. All right, peace out. Thanks for being here, everybody.